My name is Sbu Myeni, but most people know me as Sbu. I live in Johannesburg. I work there as a banker. I actually head up a department in a bank called Absa, one of the biggest banks in South Africa. I essentially grew up in a village in KwaZulu-Natal called Kwanyuswa. When we were growing up in the village, there was absolutely nothing. It was just dirt roads, no water, no electricity. We fetched water from the river. We lived in a mud house that my dad and my granddad had built. So a lot of people that we grew up with haven't made it. If I could say, probably 60% of them have died from HIV/AIDS because they went to local schools. There was nothing after that. Even the education system, it was not good at all. They couldn't even construct a sentence in English. That's how bad the education was. So they just lived around, had children, contracted HIV/AIDS. Very few probably would have slightly better lives. They got married, probably they had children, but they still live in the community, and they live in the community with no hope at all. My sister, she, being a twin, maybe I should start there. We grew up literally together, did every single thing together. We were in school, we attended every class together. So in a way we're inseparable, but obviously growing up, like any kids, for being twins, we're totally different, like totally different from the way we dressed. The only thing is we looked identical, but everything else we did was totally different. She was more into reading. She was more into interacting with older people actually than I did. I was into my friends, into even the music that we listened to was totally different. But as we grew up, we started to relate better. We went to the same university and we became friends. I think we started acknowledging that we were totally different individuals, but we were still twins. So we were very, very, very close. But we got even closer when she moved to Canada. I think that's when we realized that how much we needed each other. I mean, we literally on the phone every single day. From she called every time from Canada, would have like these 2-hour-long conversations. But I think the bond that we had grew even stronger when she fell sick. I think for both of us, it was more like, sometimes we don't appreciate each other that much. You take each other for granted when you're still all okay and you're alive, you're happy, your lives are going well. So I think it was a wake-up call for both of us that life is very short, and so we bonded even more. But I think our bond, as when she got ill with brain cancer, it was more around, what if I don't live longer? What will I say I've achieved? She started looking at things that she could make a difference in. So our lives became more around what she wanted to do, what she wanted to achieve, and if she wasn't around, how would she want us to continue from there? It bugs me, the knowledge that a lot of people that we knew are not alive because of HIV and AIDS, and the fact that the way she looked at it was, she worries about the children that those friends of ours, those schoolmates of us, left behind. So for me, it's more looking at those kids walking on the streets and wondering how many of them have parents, how many of them are roaming the streets probably because they don't have love at home, they don't have anybody at home, they're just walking on the streets without a future, aimlessly. So her biggest concern was the kids on the street, who have lost their parents. She wanted somehow to be involved in making sure that she gives them a bit of hope. Even if they don't get financial assistance to go to school, there's so many other ways that they could make it. They could be passionate about something, they could want to make something, they could want to start a business, but for them to have hope, that's what she called it. She says she wanted to start a foundation of hope. So in terms of the foundation, it's something that she lived for it at the end, but the only thing she could do was talk about it. And I think eventually for us, it is, if she could talk about it and say what it is that she wants to happen, is for us to execute. It's for us to do it for her. Like for me, sitting here right now, this was a favorite place, and to sit and know that we're moving her work forward, it can't get any better than that. The structures are not there, but it's the beginning of the process. That's like, it blows me. It gives me some sense of peace. It gives me hope that even if she's not around, her work will live on. If we could have an infrastructure where after school, you're not taking them away from the community, you're not taking them away from the grandmothers, but you put them in an environment where they'll be able to interact, they'll be able to have relationships, they'll be able to speak about their experiences, they'll be able to find hope from somebody. So I want all of them to not focus on the fact that they don't have parents. Wake up and have hope. Wake up and know they have a community to guide them.